What's up, chodes? I need to move in a little bit, don't I?
No, you really don't.
What's up, chodes? We just saw Star Wars. This is a spoiler. Sorry, Episode 7, The Force Awakens. This is a spoiler video. So if you haven't seen the movie, don't watch this. Go watch the movie, then come back and watch this. We will definitely be recapping the movie, talking about the movie, things we liked, things we didn't like, surprises, everything. So, again, this is your fair warning. If you haven't seen the movie, you don't want to hear spoilers, don't watch.
Yeah, don't watch.
So, let's go.
All right.
Can you please
already
close
with
your
the
legs?
farting and the burping? I swear, man.
Don't blow it over here.
Dude, that's nasty.
Okay, first of all, did the movie disappoint?
No, it didn't.
It did not disappoint. It did not disappoint. I'm so fucking glad it didn't disappoint.
Wait. We haven't had this part of the Peanut Gallery channel
Oh,
yet.
yeah, go ahead. Yes or no, did it disappoint?
I will say I thought I'd like it more than I did.
Okay. Alright, that's fine.
So you guys think
Always.
differently then?
Yeah, I thought it was
Really?
pretty goddamn good, actually, yes.
Really?
I did. Really, it wasn't?
I thought it was okay.
Better than episode 1, better than episode 2, probably even better than episode 4.
What are you thinking, Billy?
Well, it's not better than episode 4.
Well, I don't know about that, is it?
Yeah, it's not.
Hold on. This is we purposely did not talk about this until we got home, put the camera up and everything. When it ended, I turned around and I look at Billy, and Billy's just sitting there just staring at the screen, just kind of like with no expression on his face.
That's because I was expecting them to put an after scenes credit. And then also, I was also thinking in my head, did Han just die?
Although, well, let's talk about that first.
I knew that was going to happen, though. Like, I knew it was going to happen, but it was still shocking to see.
I would agree with that. I suspected it would happen, but I was still really surprised when it did.
Okay, so for those of you, for everyone else, I guess, I only saw the first trailer that ever dropped. I did not watch a single trailer after that. So I couldn't take anything and try to make my own predictions
you
or
weren't
anything
reading
like
rumors
that.
and
No,
stuff
nothing,
like that. Okay.
Nothing at all. Nothing at all.
See,
Matter of
I
fact, I
was.
know you made a video with your predictions on it. Didn't watch it. I stayed away from everything Star Wars because I just wanted to watch the movie and enjoy the film.
Well,
Okay,
I didn't see. Okay, look, I didn't know Han was going to die because of any rumors or anything like that. I knew as soon as I remember even saying it. As soon as he signs on, I bet you he only does sign on for one movie.
I bet they could only get him to agree if he only did one.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's probably the biggest, in my opinion, that's the biggest shock. That was the biggest what the fuck in the whole movie. Because when it happened, if y'all would have looked at me, dude, I was like this. For like 90 seconds, I couldn't fucking believe it. I couldn't believe that they fucking killed Han Solo.
It was still surprising when it actually happened. This is something that I think a lot of people, I think most people who were, kind of in tune on the rumors and stuff kind of suspected that this was probably going to happen. Or at least there was a decent chance.
Again, I didn't see any of that. I didn't see any speculation videos. I didn't see any prediction videos. I didn't see any trailers except for the first one. The first trailer, I didn't even need to see the first trailer. I knew I was going to watch it. Okay? I knew I was going to watch the film. I watched the first trailer because why not? It's a new Star Wars trailer. After that, I didn't need to see or hear anything else about it because I was going to watch the movie.
Either that was the major, like, what the fuck, spoiler or whatever in the entire film. But also, I believe that through the what do you call it, the promotion of the film, trailers and all that, I think they were trying to make Finn look like he would be the main protagonist, possibly the Jedi that ends up taking the steps Luke took to become a Jedi. Obviously, that's not the case. It was Rey. And I think most of us that kind of really paid attention realized that, but I think they were trying to make everyone think it was Finn because it was kind of a surprise when she picked up that lightsaber and you can kind of start seeing her Force use throughout the entire thing. And plus, they got all pissy with what's his face, that one toy company, that whenever they showed pictures of her with the lightsaber on that one toy.
Hasbro?
Yeah, that's what it was. Because they were really trying to play up the whole like Finn is like I think the main.
You think they were trying to pull the wool over everyone's eyes?
Yeah, and
Okay.
you know, I kind of suspected. I mean, I think it was obvious it was going to be Rey the whole time.
I think the movie definitely leads you to believe that she is Luke Skywalker's daughter.
Which is what I suspect. I've suspected it the whole time. That was the only thing that made sense from a storytelling standpoint. That that you have that direct lineage of the people training to become a Jedi. You know, I mean, I guess it could have been Han's kid, but
The only
it
way
didn't really make sense if
Yep.
Luke was before.
Well, it does. It doesn't make sense.
Well,
Well,
was
from a point because he didn't recognize her. Well, Han didn't recognize her in the ship. Like, you think he would recognize her?
Right,
But
they kind of hinted that they knew who she was. That him and Leia knew who she was.
Well,
Yeah,
they would though.
see, the only way I could kind of see her still being like Kylo Ren's twin is if maybe Leia had twins, never told Han or whatever.
Yeah,
No,
'cause-
but no, there's no way.
Yeah.
There's no way that could have happened. There's
That
no way
was-
Leia had twins and didn't tell Han.
And that might have been something they did on purpose with the lightsaber and her staff in the poster, because that kind of got a lot of people thinking, oh, they're twins, they're
But
related.
they are related though.
Well,
They'd be cousins.
Twins, because it's been established in the Star Wars universe, that's something
Right.
that's not
They're
uncommon.
Right.
still related though.
That's what I'm saying. They're still related. They're cousins.
They're cousins.
They're cousins.
Assuming that's exactly what happens, and I suspect that is what's going on.
Now, I didn't think. Okay, so Kylo Ren is Han's son. Ben is his name. I was totally taken off guard, not by that, because I had predicted that. I predicted it when they hired the actor. I knew immediately who he was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
What I was caught me off guard was the reveal. They just kind of casually just threw it there. Yeah, that's my son. It was just kind of like there was no big reveal at the end. There was part of me was thinking it wouldn't be revealed now at all. It was going to be revealed, in the next episode. But no, they revealed it now. This is what I thought would happen. Like at the end of the movie, Han Solo would finally confront Ren at the base at some point, and then Han would be like, "Son," and everyone would be like, "Holy shit!" But that's not how they chose to do it.
And speaking of which, the Kylo Ren character I actually thought was one of the positive points of the movie. I thought the actor did a really good job. I really liked the fact that
The acting overall was better.
he didn't have his act together. I really liked the fact that he was throwing little tantrums.
It reminded me of Anakin.
Exactly. You could see, he's throwing a little hissy fit the way Anakin did, the way Luke did in A New Hope, so you could tell that he's a Skywalker. He has that trait, of losing his patience and stuff.
I like that actually, that they basically gave him a temper. They gave him like he lost control several times in the movie and shredded whatever was in front of him with his lightsaber. I actually like that. I didn't like the voice when he was wearing the mask.
I actually thought it was kind of cool.
Only because at times it was hard to understand what he was saying.
Not really.
I just said it was, so obviously it was.
Okay.
At times it was hard to understand what he was saying.
What was the deal though with the Captain Phasma? Like it seemed like such a
She played such
Pointless.
a small part.
like I mean,
Like they
it was built
were
up.
they were
I mean,
hyping her up like she was going to be some important character.
maybe it is going to be in one of the next movies, and this was just an establishing bit.
Overall, I'm gonna say the movie was a good. Honestly, I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad that. I think they did the movie right, honestly, and I'm glad that because when they first sold, when George Lucas first sold to Disney, you heard all the jokes and this and that. And I'm so glad that it wasn't, and I didn't think it would be. It wasn't quote unquote Disneyed up. I think they did the movie right. They made the movie right. Casting was excellent. The acting was good in it. The story was good in it. The writing was done well. It was action. It was action packed. And there's a lot of little jokes in there that I liked from other films. You know what I mean? Like at one point, Han says, "What's he say? I had a bad feeling about that," or something like that. Like that's kind of a running thing in the Star Wars movies, where someone always says, "I got a bad feeling about this."
I like the Indiana Jones punch sound effect that they used when he
I
hit
didn't
that
even
guy.
notice that. I didn't even notice that. But no, I mean, it was good overall. It was good. I didn't like that BB-8 character because R2. I mean, I don't want that to be the new R2D2, you know. But he wasn't. He really wasn't. He wasn't as overbearing as I thought he was going to be in it. So I can look past that.
What were the favorite things? What were the best things about the movie in your opinion?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like I guess the pre-production end of it.
The acting was good.
The acting was good. All the actors were really good in it. I thought, dude, the movie was fucking awesome, dude.
Really?
Yeah, I fucking liked it.
Wow.
I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna watch it again.
I'm going to.
I'm gonna go to the theater. I'm gonna watch it again. But I thought the movie was really fucking good. It didn't disappoint, in my opinion. It really
wasn't
didn't
a bad
disappoint.
movie, in my opinion.
Well, no. Think of it this way: if you take the original trilogy, then you take the prequel trilogy, and then you take this new trilogy that they're going to come out with. Look at them as their own storylines. Okay, so basically look at them as their own separate 3 movies, if you can. For a setup movie, it was pretty fucking badass.
One of the things that I actually was hoping they would do is everybody knows the prequels have their own feel. There's a different vibe from the original trilogy, and I was hoping that they wouldn't just make this the 4th movie of the original trilogy, if that makes sense. Like I was hoping because I figured because that'd be the easy way out. I was hoping that it would have its own tone that was distinct from the other two.
It does. That's my point, though.
It did.
It has that new tone, but still in the spirit of the originals. You saw a lot of practical effects. You saw a lot of the humor that accompanies Star Wars,
which was probably the best thing, I think, in my opinion.
I think a lot of that was missing in Episode 1. Honestly.
Yeah. No, I did like the humor. I probably. That's probably my favorite part of the movie. The acting was really good. Of the new characters, I thought they all did a good job. I thought the 2 new characters played really well off of Harrison Ford and Chewbacca. I thought that gelled really well, and I didn't know what to expect with that. Even the Poe Dameron character was very likable. Which kind of surprised me.
I like that guy. I wish he was in it more, actually.
Yeah, that was a character that I, honestly, just going in with my preconceived notions that I was going to think I couldn't care less about.
Well, wait, what if he's the next captain of the Millennium Falcon? Think about it.
Yeah, no, I think
Han's gone now.
I think that it's pretty much established that it's probably going to be.
Well, I know what happened at the end of the movie. Obviously, they want you to think that it's Rey, or they imply that it's going to be Rey.
I just don't see the point in Poe being because he's a fighter pilot. That's where he's needed.
No, that's true.
He's the wedge of this.
I like the guy, honestly. I thought he should have been in it a little bit more than what he was.
I was really hoping to see R2 and C-3PO a little bit more. They were almost giving kind of like, sympathy cameos almost.
That's one thing. But that's one thing.
Yes and no.
I kind of wish they had almost. Okay, so the first, they really only did that with this first Star Wars. They don't really tell the story of the first trilogy, the original trilogy, through the eyes of the droids, but the first movie obviously is. It would have been nice to have them maybe play a bigger part in this one. Yes, this movie is very much like A New Hope, obviously. Desert Planet starts off with the Force user who doesn't know she's a Force user, goes off on this big adventure, coming of age. I mean, obviously things are different, but it is essentially at its heart and soul A New Hope kind of retold in a different way. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. This is a trilogy that's supposed to rhyme with the other trilogies. It's supposed to invoke the same kind of storytelling in a different way. It's in like harmony, notes and music. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a good way to do it, to go about doing it.
I liked how, and again, I think this is in the writing, the pre-production phases of the movie. I liked how the characters had a sense of history. You know, with like Rey and Finn, they'd heard of Luke Skywalker, they'd heard of Han Solo, but they weren't really sure. You know, it was almost myth. They were almost mythical. And even with Kylo Ren, how he knew who his grandfather was. He knew how powerful his grandfather was and what he did.
Well, I think that's the number one motivation of his character is because he's sitting there saying, "I'm going to finish what you started." Obviously, this character Snoke, and we'll get into him because that was kind of one of the things I didn't like. Influenced him and is his mentor, and that's one thing. I mean, are they Sith? I don't think they're Sith. I just think they use the dark side. Because Sith is basically a religion. You can use the dark side but not be a Sith.
Right.
You know?
Right. Well, I mean, and then that kind of begs the question: the rule of two. Who are the two right now?
Well, I mean, there is no rule to it. If they're Sith, it doesn't matter.
But
I mean, if they're not Sith, then it doesn't matter.
If they're not Sith, it doesn't matter. Which I guess brings us to the Snoke character. That was a hologram, which I'm so glad it was.
I'm so glad it was hologram because when I was watching that and there was this big giant character, I go, what in the fuck?
You know what?
And then the hologram goes away. I'm like, oh, thank you.
You know what's worse than that though? Voldemort. That's what I thought.
And
That's what I thought when I saw that character.
No, I thought Gollum actually. That's what I thought. It was like he kind of looked like Gollum, and it was Andy Serkis doing the character.
I just couldn't get behind it. I would much rather. Now I know this is kind of cliche, but maybe just someone in a dark cloak or something. You don't really even see a face, really. Mm. I think that would have been much more effective.
I agree with you on that. So who is this guy actually going to be? Who is it actually going to be?
Snoke?
Yeah.
I mean, my guess is good. I've maintained that like he might be like the maybe reincarnation of like Plagueis. Because Plagueis can make himself come back off. Who's to say what Plagueis looks like? Yeah, he's kind of got an established look in the canon, but all that's been washed away, and Disney's gone away with all that stuff. So there's no set look for him. Maybe it is Plagueis, and that's just the way he looks now. I mean, I don't know. That's my theory, anyway. I have nothing to base that on other than maybe just wishful thinking, honestly. But it would make sense. It would make sense.
Just a redesign of the character.
Yeah, it could have been just
because if it looked too much like it, people would already know who it is.
Yeah, exactly. And if that's something they wanted to reveal, like in the second or third, or episode 8 and 9, then obviously if he looks like how he's supposed to look, that would have been obviously it would be a giveaway. No,
yeah, they did. They came out with a book and they came out with an action figure, but I don't know if that was before or after. That
was all before
Disney decided. From this point on, everything is canon.
And they obviously took from a lot of the canon. They did. Like, first of all, Kylo Ren's name is Ben. Well, Luke Skywalker's name is Ben. Or excuse me, Luke Skywalker's son is named Ben in the expanded universe.
I was hoping for a half a second reference to Thrawn somewhere in the movie.
Yeah.
You know. To kind of give a nod at some of the novels that came before, but
in the expanded universe, Han Solo's son, whose name is Jason Solo, actually becomes a Sith, and turns to the dark side. So they obviously borrowed from the canon. Mm-hmm. I mean that's a given.
Was that Coruscant that got blown up?
Dude, that's one thing I don't know, but it seemed like they said some other system. They said some other system name.
It kind of looked like it in the close-ups, but the actual planet, like, it wasn't all lit up the way it should have been, I don't think,
Maybe it was just a city, but it's the same architecture.
Possibly.
I don't know. That's because when it first happened, I was like, holy shit, did they really just blow up Coruscant? That's another thing I wanted to ask. That's one thing I kind of don't get. I'm kind of confused. They said that, like, okay, so they were trying to blow up the New Republic, right?
Right.
Why is that like something separate from the Resistance? That's what I don't understand.
I don't know. That didn't make much sense to me either.
Because they said like
they were almost making it sound like it was an underground thing, the Resistance, and
yeah, but that was Rebel Alliance, wasn't it? Why'd they change the name?
But here's what I'm saying is like, okay, you got a Rebel Alliance, right? They destroy the Empire, then they should become the New Republic. Why is the New Republic some separate entity than the Resistance or the Rebel
Right.
Alliance now. That doesn't make any sense to me.
I was expecting them to give a little bit of a detail on the crawl, but the crawl was very, very basic, very concise. You know, just talking about Luke for the most
it just
part.
didn't make any sense. It's like in this new galaxy, 30 years afterwards, there's no overarching authority. It's almost like different factions fighting each other.
I think one of the things that kind of bothered me the most about this is it kind of diminishes the what they did in Return of the Jedi. You know, at the end it looks like defeated the Empire and stuff, and it turns out that nothing's changed 30 years later. So assume is it 30 or 20 or how long is it supposed to be?
I don't know,
It's
but
30.
I mean, it doesn't
30.
really matter, honestly, how long it's supposed to be. But there's always going to be good. There's always going to be evil. I mean, that's just the bottom line. It's just the bottom line. There's always going to be good. There's always going to be evil.
But I mean,
because I don't think they were calling themselves the Empire in this new movie, were they?
They were saying the new, what was it, the something order.
First Order.
First Order, yeah.
Okay. Now, I think maybe this is going back to history, but that whole part where that dude was giving that speech was very, very Nazi Germany.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, there was definitely some visual imagery that
Right.
would
Right.
kind of harken back to that type of look.
I'm wondering if that's going to get any kind of heat.
And even the stormtroopers, what did they do? They did something like
Yeah,
this, you know.
they did.
It was obvious. You could tell with the reference.
Obviously, it was right.
But there was even not Nazi imagery in the Empire suits outfits in the original movies.
Well,
as well.
I read somewhere that I want to say Vader's costume was kind of very loosely based, but inspired by like the Gestapo uniforms. That's where Lucas kind of got that from. But anyways, I'm just wondering, in this day and age, with everyone being so politically correct and just so sensitive about everything, is that going to get any kind of heat in the media?
well, if there's a reason to bitch at something, someone's gonna bitch about something. But I want to go back to like the First Order or whatever. I don't know. It's really weird, but to me, it didn't really seem like they were a huge threat. When I think of like the Empire, I think of like giant, massive armies controlling all these systems around the galaxy, and it's just like this.
They seem much more
This First Order was just like this planet full of like stormtroopers.
Right, and is there a territory that they control that the Republic doesn't? Or, I mean, we didn't really get a lot of details as far as how things stand 30 years down the road. You know, is the Republic for the most part the old Empire? Is this just kind of like remnants of the Empire called the First Order that are trying to claw their way back into power? Or do they control a big chunk of the universe? I mean, it wasn't really said. It kind of seemed like they were just kind of a minimal, kind of shrunken down version of the Empire that just happened to have this super weapon.
It's almost like we've got this New Republic or whatever. It does its thing, and then you got two factions just fighting each other. I mean, what are the stakes?
Mm-hmm.
That's. I understand that they have a planet that blows up other planets, but what's the stakes? Is the whole like fate of the galaxy at stake? It just didn't seem like it.
It wasn't really clarified, I guess.
Galactic domination.
But how is a handful of stormtroopers on a planet going to dominate the galaxy? That's what I don't.
Because they got a planet that destroys planets.
I mean, this is obviously not the end of them, though. It got blown up.
Well, and they're going to rebuild it, and by the next one, it'll be built back up, and it'll be halfway done, and they'll blow it up again.
If this was a larger power than,
because didn't they say that? They say that like that's the reason they blew up that one planet was because it was. Didn't they say it was the Senate? The Senate was there, the Galactic Senate.
Well, that's why I was thinking it was Coruscant, because they were making it sound like that's where the Republic headquarters, which
I mean, and then
I would assume would have been Coruscant.
And then,
right?
and then they said that like that's why they blew it up is because they were the biggest supporters of the Resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't they be one and the same? That's what I don't get.
Exactly. No, I thought it was. Actually, at that point, wouldn't the Resistance just have turned into the Republic, and it would have been a Republic army fighting against these guys?
But maybe maybe the Republic doesn't have a military, and this is almost like the military is the Resistance. Maybe.
Well,
why
the
do
fact
they call
that they're-
themselves resistance?
Exactly. The fact that they're called
Resistance and
resistance
rebels
means they
and things-
haven't won anything still, right?
No, it means they're going against conformity is what that means.
Against the establishment, against the
estab-
power.
Right, just
against
like the
who's in
Rebel
charge.
Alliance.
Right. But it didn't seem like that. That's the
So
thing.
so are we gonna get? Oh, so do we have a situation here where the Resistance is still fighting against a higher power, but this time it just happens to be, you know what I'm saying? The people in power, they don't totally mesh with them. They're almost like the New Republic is in a way the Empire still, but you also have the old Empire as the First Order. And so you have three different factions, but it just still doesn't make any sense why they would be buddy-buddy, the Resistance and the New Republic. I don't know. This whole thing needs more clarification because that's what it just didn't get it. I didn't get it at all.
Yeah, that was kind of.
And I was really hoping to see Coruscant at some point.
I was actually hoping to see Coruscant too.
That's one of my favorite things from the prequels is Coruscant.
I was hoping to see Watto. I like Watto.
It was that other fat fuck that was handing out those rations was the new Watto.
Yeah, this will give you a half ration.
They were half ration apiece last week. Speaking of Rey, that's one thing I did not like about the movie. I can get past the lack of information because as the next two movies come out, a lot of information is going to unfold.
Hopefully.
I think that's the point.
Mhm.
That's why they wanted people to do what we're doing right now, to have that discussion. Well, why are there's still a resistance if they won? You know what I mean?
Right.
But Rey, so she starts becoming in tune with her force abilities, and that's fine. But all of a sudden,
to me, it seemed like she was remembering some early training she got when she was a child. How would she know how to do the Jedi mind trick? You know what I mean? Like this was something she hadn't done in 15 years or so, and
no, I think she'd heard of the Force. She prevented Kylo Ren from reading her thoughts. Basically looking into her head and seeing the map. And because she even said, what did she tell him? You're scared that you're not going to be as powerful as Darth Vader or something like that, right? At that point, she was reading him basically. So something clicked, and she was like, "Well, let me try this. Let me try to tell this stormtrooper to go get fucked." I didn't like though that there's training involved. Okay, there's lightsaber skill training involved. I didn't like how she automatically picks up a lightsaber and then she's a badass, and she basically defeats this trained Sith, for lack of a better word.
well, she was competent at that staff that she had.
Well, yeah.
A staff and a lightsaber are two different things.
Here's what I didn't like. Okay, I can mesh with that a little bit more than I can with Finn. Finn, who has absolutely no force power, being able to. It seems like Kylo Ren should have just sliced him in half within 2 seconds.
I agree with that.
He was hurt though. I guess that's the excuse.
Or unless
Bullshit.
he was toying with him, because there was that one point we put him against a tree, just kind of like put his blade into his shoulder, just toying with him a little bit. Okay, maybe that, but I think the reason. I agree with you, but I think the reason that he didn't take her out sooner was because he didn't want to kill her. Because he had him up at that cliff. He goes, "Oh, I think he's wanting her as an apprentice, the trainer, to the dark side or whatever." And she was, and it was clear as day through that whole time. She was tapping into the dark side the whole time because she was every swing she took was rage filled. She had the look on her face. She was actually doing the Palpatine. Did you notice that?
Well, he knew who she was, or at least knew about her, because when they said there was a female helping, he flipped out. Remember?
Yeah.
So he at least I think he knows who it is, and they just haven't.
Well, he seems to be older. It makes sense that he would know if he was born first. Assuming that Luke still stuck around for a little while and whatnot after they had kids and whatever.
She picked up on how to pilot the Millennium Falcon awfully fast, so that was kind of a little bit of an eye roller for me.
Yeah. That's true.
And I thought it was a little convenient that
but
Han
you got
Solo just so
hang on
happens
though.
to be the
Wait.
first one to find him.
Well, no, because Han Solo was tracking the ship. Han Solo was looking for the ship. And as soon as it powered up and started getting mobile, what the fuck? Hang on. Started getting mobile, he was able to track it down. He was tracking the ship because he even says, if we can track you this easily, then they're gonna find you.
Mm-hmm. I guess.
Because the ship was stolen from him, so of course he's looking for it.
What did you think about Carrie Fisher's performance?
I didn't like it. I was actually going to say something about it. There was just something off with it.
You want to know what's funny is half the interaction between her and Han Solo
seemed like actors
really like there was a lot of we have to explain what's happened the last 30 years.
Oh no yeah no
You know?
there was during that part there was a lot of exposition.
Yeah.
Because absolutely.
And I was kind of like, wow, this doesn't, this feels forced, but I don't know how else you can do that. You have to get that information out there somewhere. Somebody has to say it. So I kind of give that a pass, but it didn't feel natural. The other half of the time, though, I thought they actually interacted pretty well.
It was obvious they
against
hadn't
each
been
other.
around each other in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Either they were divorced or split up, never married, whatever the case may be.
What happened was,
and there is a little bit of awkwardness whenever two people.
As soon as Kylo Ren flew up the deep end and did his shit, that's when they took off in separate directions.
Right, which was probably obviously it happened at an early age, I would assume.
No, I don't think so. I think more than likely he was probably in his. Oh, I don't know. I guess it would depend on how the actor is, but I wouldn't put it more than 5 or 6 years, maybe.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of what I got within 10 years. He obviously would have been had to have been old enough to have had the strength to, to go off and become an apprentice, if you will. So I don't think he was like, some little Padawan, 10-year-old that decided to leave. I think he was pretty much an adult by the time he made that decision.
I want to know where he got Vader's mask. That's what I want to know.
I mean, if it was on Endor, I mean, there's probably once the resistance left and stuff. There's probably just a bunch of Ewoks running around. I mean, and then
what do you mean? Probably, of course, so were Ewoks running around.
I mean, what I'm saying.
Their move.
What I'm saying is, probably wasn't much there to disturb.
Right,
it,
that's true. I don't think the Ewoks were guarding it.
It's just there in a big pile of ashes.
I don't know. There was just. I liked the movie.
I think it's one of those things. In multiple viewings, it's kind of jarring because it's a new Star Wars.
Maybe it was a little jarring because it didn't. I was expecting this, and I know you said you thought it was, but I was expecting this to feel more than anything like A New Hope, and to me it didn't. To me, it had a different tone altogether.
No, not really. It kind of. I think Billy's right. Kind of on point with that. It pretty much follows, like you said. It starts on a desert planet. It's obviously it's a girl instead of a guy. She goes off on this mission. She finds
the
her
plot points, but not the tone of the movie.
The tone is. I think the tone's lighthearted like the original. It's lighthearted action like the original, and I do like the fact that Disney didn't Disney-fy it. You know what? People get manhandled by lightsabers. Han Solo gets it through the gut. They didn't try to pussyfoot around anything.
I think Disney's smart enough, and I told people that Disney's gonna. I'm like, when was the last time Disney made a bad movie? Think about it. When was the last time Disney made a bad movie? Exactly. Why would they fuck with something like this that's been around
3.
for Iron Man 3? He says. Idiot.
I never watched it.
No. Yeah. The tone is. I don't know. What do you? I think the tone was more in line with the originals and the prequels.
There was a few parts where I actually, not necessarily got bored, but it was like the movie kind of stalled in a few areas.
I think it's because just the anticipation and knowing where it's going.
You want to know what's funny is the battle scenes, the X-wings and stuff. None of that seemed that exciting to me.
When they first came on that planet and going over the water, I thought that was badass.
I thought that was badass too, actually.
It's a cool shot, but I mean, overall, it didn't have the excitement that.
Well,
maybe it's just because you're old now. You're old and you're cantankerous.
Maybe.
No,
Yeah,
I
maybe.
mean,
You don't have that child in you anymore.
The space scenes were for me on par with episode 1. I mean, they were just kind of they weren't. There wasn't anything that was like
the
awesome.
the X-wing pilots I think are just badass. Dude, like they came in and just fucking cleaned house.
Okay.
That very first time we saw them, they came in and just fucking wrecked shit.
Okay, so what, in your opinion, what's the best X-wing fight scene or space scene in the entire show?
Probably the end of Return of the Jedi and the beginning of Episode 3. I think are probably the best, spaceship fighting scenes in my opinion. Okay. But even Episode 2 had that awesome one against Obi-Wan and Jango Fett, in the asteroid field. That was pretty sweet.
But the thing about it, there was no space battles in this.
There wasn't. And I guess that was actually something that you hadn't seen before. Is the kind of
and that might be one of the reasons why it's not gelling with you as well, is because there was no space battles.
I actually thought that chase scene, like you said, she took control of the Falcon a little too easily, but I thought that chase scene was actually pretty good.
I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was bad. I thought it was okay.
Dude, it was pretty good.
I actually enjoyed the Finn character, in Luke's position, a lot more than the way she handled it. I thought that was kind of a little too not necessarily far-fetched, but he's like, come on, yeah. She'd never flown the thing before, probably, but she knew how to handle that thing, a lot better than she should have, in my opinion.
I think a lot of that stuff might get answered, because you do remember when she was having those flashbacks or whatever. There was that little girl on the sand planet.
Yeah, talk about she's channeling some training she had when she was younger. She is related related to Anakin Skywalker, who was a good pilot. Just saying.
Here's my theory. So Luke.
I guess.
So Luke. Obviously, he was trying to rebuild the Order, the Jedi Order. Kylo Ren fucks it up. He has to go into solitude.
Yeah, which I think they actually almost spelled out.
That's what happened. That's not my theory yet. The theory part is I think that he had a daughter. He was going to train her as a Jedi, and then somehow he just dropped her off that planet. Maybe somebody was there. He was going to take care of her, but. Maybe it was that Max von Stowe guy or whatever that was supposed to take care of her. He ends up getting shot in the beginning of the movie. By the way, I figured he'd play a much bigger role.
Yeah, he
was. He gets
3 seconds.
Yeah, but maybe he leaves her with him. Take care of her, please, or somebody else. He goes off into his solitude, planning to come back. But maybe it's one of those Jedi things. Maybe it's one of those Jedi things where it's like, I won't have to find her. She'll find me, and when she finds me, she's ready for a training or something.
Maybe.
Something like Jedi bullshit like that.
I didn't like that last shot. I didn't like that last shot with that fucking drone or helicopter or whatever it was doing the aerial circle, and she's just standing there.
It was very not Star Wars.
Yeah.
That angle,
it was very not Star Wars.
Work was.
I didn't like that.
Was
because you know it would have been better if maybe like she puts the lightsaber out and he just kind of uses the Force. Gets it out of her hand into his, maybe even turns it on, and then Fate just cuts the black.
See, but here's the thing about that shot, or about that sequence, I should say. You know how he was all teary up and kind of had that look on his face? I think everyone thinks it's because of the lightsaber. No,
it was everything else.
It was because of her.
Of course, it was because of her.
He was looking at her. He was like,
Speaking of which,
that's my daughter.
Speaking of which, I thought Mark Hamill looked pretty darn good at the end of that movie. Like he had the Obi-Wan look. The old Obi-Wan Jedi Master look.
I didn't like. I don't like what he was wearing. I didn't like that he was wearing that Obi-Wan light tan.
No, I did. He's taken on that mantle.
I didn't like that. I didn't like it.
I expected to see more of him.
I want my fucking Luke Skywalker wearing all black. That's what I want. Okay? I don't give a shit how old he gets, how fat he gets, how hairy he gets. I want my Luke Skywalker wearing all black.
It's going to be interesting to see what they're doing with the character. If some of the rumors are true. So
my prediction for episode 8, he trains her, and at some point he dies. He's got to die.
It makes sense.
He's got to die.
It makes sense.
I was expecting that to happen in this one. The way you had Qui-Gon die in the first movie, the way you had Obi-Wan die in the first movie of the original trilogy, I was expecting it to be Luke dying in this one.
Well, I mean,
Jedi Master.
Really, I thought Luke was going to have a way bigger parts.
If you take the storytelling aspect and say, okay, this type of character has to die, then yeah. But really, Han was that. If you break down what those two characters were, they're mentors, older mentor characters.
And he was a mentor to the two
Han
new
was
characters.
the mentor to those new characters.
Yeah, no, so I guess it does make sense.
I knew he was gonna bite it. Like when I knew he was gonna bite it, but as soon as he got on that bridge, I knew he was gonna bite it.
Yeah.
And whenever he handed him the lightsaber, I was like, it's a trick. It's a trick. And then they showed the the light on Kylo Ren's face. I don't know if you noticed that, but I picked up on that immediately. The light from the room or whatever kind of got more red on his face, and I was like
he was coming around, but then the dark side took him over again.
Yeah, but it was the lighting in the room. They purposely obviously did that.
Right.
As soon as that happened, I was like,
that's funny.
Later, man.
That's funny because I'm sitting next to you going, everything's gonna be okay. Were you like, no? Yeah, dude, I almost did the fucking episode 3 no yell when that happened.
Hey, what was the dude next to you doing?
Dude, man, the guy next to me, first of all, when they're doing the previews, like, because they let us into the theater 2 hours early. The guy next to me at one point is watching porn on his phone. He's watching. I even tweeted a picture of him. He's watching porn on his phone. So this guy, when Han Solo, okay, you know what? You know why? Like I didn't want to say it was so. Han Solo has always been one of my favorite characters, especially good guys, but definitely one of my favorite characters in the Star Wars universe. I got a fucking picture of him over there hanging on the wall, but I was shocked. I was genuinely shocked because I didn't.
Hey, hold on a second. I don't want to lose. After you remind me to tell you what I'm going to tell you, but I don't want to.
Okay.
Because I don't want to forget.
Okay.
This.
So the guy next to me, man, this dude. Throughout the whole movie, he's talking to the screen. Okay. He's like. You know, you've seen this in movies where they're yelling at the person on the screen, and like a scary movie does that. You know. Run! Why are you falling? Whatever. And this guy's sitting over there when Han Solo's getting ready to walk out onto that bridge. He's like, "Don't do it. It's a bad idea." Okay. And usually I'd be like, someone's talking in the theater. I'd be like, "Dude, can you shut up?" But I wanted to hear what this guy was gonna say. he goes. Yeah, I'm getting entertained by this dude. So I'm watching Harrison Ford on the screen. I'm listening to this guy because he was like this close to me. He goes, "Don't do it. It's a bad idea." And then he starts going out there. He's like, "Shouldn't go out there." And then he's like, "Don't go out there. Don't go out there." And then he yells for him, "Ben," and he was like, he didn't say anything. And then he comes out and, you know, he's telling him basically, "Come home, this and that, blah, 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 blah." And then as soon as he gets stabbed, the guy next to me is like, "No, what? No way." And it was just, he was like, I can't believe Han Solo just died.
Well, okay,
No.
let me ask you a question. What did you think about seeing a 70-year-old Han Solo on screen? Did that tarnish your image of Han Solo? Or,
No.
Or was it
No, not at all, because he was still Han Solo, just 30 years older.
He's a 30-year-old smartass.
Basically.
Just like he was.
Basically.
His character was the same.
His character was the same.
I mean, a little refinement. Obviously older and wiser, but
right.
he still had that.
He was still
smartass guy.
He was still
No,
Han.
I agree. I thought.
You know, because even when he goes, he called him Solo. He goes, "Did you just call me Solo?" Like, it's like, you know what I mean? Like, I thought, and of course, like you said, a little more refined, a little more age. He's got some fight under his belt, some battle, some he did some growing up and whatnot. You know, just being in war will do that to you. I guess can't speak from personal experience. Kids will do that to you. Kids will make you grow up, be a little bit more responsible.
Yeah.
But no, I thought the character was on point. He was an older version of 77 when the first one came out, or 78, whatever.
I was happy at how much Chewbacca had.
That actually leads me exactly into what I was going to say. One of my favorite scenes of the movie was right after Han died. Chewie goes ape shit.
That was cool.
He just going around doing like one shot kills, like
Yeah.
paka, like he was a They had a fucking mod on a first-person shooter or something.
I
Shit.
really hope that he has as prominent a role in the next couple of movies that he had in this first one.
I actually something that I like. Talk about something that I like, and I don't know why, but when Han takes his crossbow.
Yeah,
and
that
he's
was kind of
using
funny.
it.
It's like, oh, he'd never done that before.
He'd never done that before, and that's
Yeah.
why I liked it. I found the humor in that, and he was like, "Let me see that thing."
Yeah.
I like that part. You know,
There's one thing I'm really
did you
disappointed.
notice the blaster was the same?
I didn't.
Y'all didn't even notice that Han's blaster was the same.
One thing I'm really disappointed that we're not going to have, and I was really hoping there, even if it was just one scene, to have all three of them in the same scene, seeing Han.
I mean, that's true.
Interact with Luke one more time. you know.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's not going to happen.
I think you know, the tearing up at the end, because Luke is probably so in tune with the Force and you know the people he loves. When she showed up, I don't think it was just her. I think somewhere he knew everything that was going on. You know what I mean?
Well,
he knew,
Leia felt that Han had died.
Leia felt that Han had died.
Right.
There's no doubt Luke felt.
I was
Han had
actually
died.
kind of disappointed that she wasn't a Jedi herself, or at least they made it seem like she's not.
Well, she actually did an interview or something, and J.J. Abrams actually talked about it, and she goes that just her character felt that she could have done more good as a general than as a Jedi.
I was just about to say, like, if she was still leading the I'm not gonna call it the resistance. That's too French. If she was still leading the rebellion, okay, because that's what it is. Hey, fuck you guys. You guys have good fries, but you know, if she was still leading the rebellion, which she obviously was, she didn't have time to train. She didn't have time to train, because she even said, you know, he goes, I left to do what I do best. She's like, yeah, me too. And what she did best was lead troops into battle.
And that still goes to my point. Like, she was Princess Leia. Why didn't she become a queen in the Senate or something? And why is she a general leading troops? I just don't understand that.
No,
part.
I
Just
did
fighting
like
a good
that
fight.
there was a couple of
You think-
princess references. I think
I
C-3PO almost says it at one point.
Yeah,
right?
no, I
does say
know
at one
that, but
point,
you would
princesses
you
is
would
what he
think
says.
if she was a princess in the rebellion, when the New Republic forms, she'd take on some sort of leadership role.
Wait a
in
minute,
that.
her planet got blown up though, remember? Alderaan got destroyed in episode 4. What's she going to become queen of?
I
Why
mean,
is she a princess anyways? Is it because of Amidala?
yeah, I mean that's I don't know that. I don't even. I
You
don't
know,
know.
Well, hang on, because she was adopted by...
By a senator and his wife.
Damn, that's a good point,
I'm
actually.
using.
That's a good
Look,
point.
I'm using princess and queen not in terms of specifically being a queen of something, but just in a place of like higher like authority and respect. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm using that as a
Which
placeholder.
says what? That the Senate's not what it's supposed to be. The Empire is there's still obviously there's still some shenanigans going on. There's a planet that kills planets.
But it still seemed like you would have thought that they would have had all the resources of a republic behind them, and it still seemed like they were an underground.
Yeah,
guerrilla
it seemed like they
operation.
were an underground rebellion operation, but they should have had the entire galaxy
Yes,
behind them.
Yes, and it didn't really feel like that. It felt like
Maybe-
30 years earlier is what
maybe
it
it all
felt like.
comes
Nothing
up.
had changed.
Maybe it all comes up.
And I like that reference that I think it was General Hux who said it. He goes, "Would you rather use a clone army or something
Yeah,
like that?"
that was actually I did kind of like that.
I missed that one.
And there was a little reference of, is there a garbage disposal in here?
Yes.
You know, that was kind of
Yes.
funny. You know, little things like that.
Oh, did you see that part where Finn was in the back of the Falcon and picked up that little
the Jedi training ball.
Yeah.
Oh, is
You
that
didn't
what
notice
was?
that? Yeah.
I didn't catch. What,
Yeah.
I was like, what was that? I didn't. It didn't
I like
make,
that.
that was cool.
Well, chess set came on. I like that. Yeah, no, there was a bunch of nods to the original trilogy, which I liked. Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was a good mix of drama, serious, action, comedy. I thought it was.
No,
It's a good movie.
It did have all the ingredients necessary that I knew would be there because J.J. Abrams does a really good job. But just something, I don't know, maybe it's just because, maybe I need to see it again, but it didn't gel 100% for me. You know,
I think because it's new. It's new. It's starting a brand
I don't
new.
know, man.
It's starting a brand new set of
maybe.
movies. It's starting
Maybe I
a
gotta
brand
get
new
used
chapter.
to the universe as it is. You know,
Right.
in these.
Because I know
particular
you're going to
instances.
watch it again, and if you don't watch
of
it at the
course.
theater at least once more, which I think you will,
Oh, I think
when it comes out on Blu-ray, you're
I
going to
think
watch
we
it.
should just go watch it in
several
3D,
several
you know?
times. I don't want to watch 3D. Fuck 3D.
But I don't know.
I think there's actually more books coming out that's supposed to explain like what happens between our Jedi and this one, like Aftermath. But I think it's like a series of 4 books, so it might explain the whole why the Resistance isn't like 100% the same as the Republic.
Well, like
and all that.
what I was saying earlier, like this kind of diminishes what happens at the end of Return of the Jedi because it seems like nothing's changed in 30 years. It seems like the rebellion is still this underground thing that it was.
Maybe at the end when everyone's celebrating and partying and the fucking Ewoks are drumming on fucking stormtroopers' helmets, that was just the end of that. What if the Empire rebuilt?
Well, but there is a new Republic. We know that.
Well, yes,
I mean,
because
was.
Was.
There is a new Republic. So I mean, but if you think about it, if Luke didn't turn Vader back and Vader didn't kill the Emperor, 30 years from now, probably still be an empire. There'd still be an empire controlling everything. At least now, there's a new Republic, and yes, there's fighting going on still, but at least you don't have that big, giant, overarching authority that I mean, the rebellion would have been crushed, and maybe once the rebellion was crushed at that battle of Endor, then all chances of overthrowing the Emperor would have been gone. That would have been it. You know? And 30 years from now, we'd still be under under Palpatine's rule, you know? So, I mean, it doesn't necessarily diminish it. It's just that you're not in that place there you thought you might have been.
You know, maybe one of the reasons why I don't like it is just the fact that there will be answers in the future. Because the whole Snoke character really did bother me because he seemed so... To me, he seemed like a Count Dooku. Like, just almost like a last-minute kind of, you know, idea that was kind of half-baked thrown in there. Because there's no real... I mean... If you, with all the faults that people find in the prequels, the first 6 movies, like Lucas has said over and over again, are Anakin's story. It's his fall and then his redemption. So to me, it's interesting to see what they do with this next trilogy because it has to tie back into that somehow. If not, it's not as meaningful.
Well, I think you just have to wait till all of them come out for that.
Right.
You're gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to wait. Obviously, you can't keep centering everything around Darth Vader, but there's that Skywalker blood, and that's where the story's going to stay, obviously. But, you know, and the next one's going to be Rey. I think you're probably right. In Episode 8, Luke probably bites it.
I mean,
and he's in the middle of training Rey, and then just like in Jedi, he was being trained in Empire. Yoda dies.
What?
Who was that?
Was that your phone or was that a fart?
Just like in Empire, Luke was being trained by
Dude, I
Yoda.
don't smell anything, man.
Yoda dies, and then in 6 he comes back, and it was obviously in 5 he wasn't there.
So he's
6
the Yoda
he comes
figure.
by.
Yeah.
He's more mature. You know, he walks into Jabba's palace, and he, you know, at that point you're like, damn, Luke Skywalker's a bad motherfucker right now.
Actually,
I could see the same thing happening.
Actually, I think we're going off on a tangent here. But at the beginning of Return of the Jedi, I think you see how immature he really still is, because in terms of Force, because he is really channeling that dark side.
Oh, throughout the whole movie, he's channeling the dark side. He's force choking Gamorrean guards. He's lying all over the place.
Arrogant.
This is the last mistake you'll ever make, talking to Jabba. And then
it's all because he didn't complete his training.
He's going after Vader and Palpatine in anger, you know.
And I think what we'll see in Episode 8 is that she starts her training, and there's going to be kinks. She's going to be exhibiting a dark side, and maybe Luke is like, I don't even want to go there. You know, he doesn't even want to train her because at that point, I'm pretty sure it's going to be his daughter. It's like, I don't even want to train you. I don't even want to send you down that road. I mean, because he's too afraid of what's going to happen to her. If she falls to the dark side, that's his daughter falling to the dark side. Mm-hmm. He doesn't want to pull. He doesn't want that shit. Maybe he never intended to train her at all. Maybe he was like, because of just his. look what happened with freaking Kylo Ren. Look what happened to Son's. It's obviously his sister's daughter. His nephew, okay, falls to the dark side. His father falls. His nephew falls. He's just like, fuck it. Skywalker blood is fucked up. Like, and so he has a daughter. He's like, you know what? Jedi shit, Force shit, just no, not happening.
Oh, that's a good point.
You know,
that would make sense.
Just fuck it. Stay on this fucking desert planet and do something or whatever. That doesn't make any sense. Why would you abandon your daughter on a desert planet full of scavengers, all that danger? So there's got to be some kind of explanation for that.
Well, that's what happened to Luke.
Well,
yeah, but he had people taking care of him.
Hiding, though. They were hiding him from his dad.
And maybe she's hiding, but maybe she's hiding too. It's a very good possibility.
They put her into hiding. I think the Knights of Ren were his students, and it wasn't just Kylo Ren, but all of them rebelled against Luke. He started an academy, and this Snoke figure basically seduced them all to the dark side, and that might be one of the reasons why, nobody knows who she is, because they put her in hiding to protect her while he's off, meditating or whatever for 15, 20 years.
I think the actor that they chose was really good for the role.
I thought he was great, actually.
When he first took off his mask, I'm like, I mean, I knew what he looked like and what he played before, but it's like as soon as he took off that mask, it's like, wow, you became a lot less menacing. But then he started, started seeing the emotion in his face, like you could start seeing like the inner struggles within him and the rage in him and the kind of stuff that Anakin you would see in his demeanor and stuff. And I was like, okay, well, obviously, I mean, he's even Anakin hair, Yeah,
he kind of does.
And so, just watching him, have all those Anakin mannerisms, I was like, okay, well, it kind of makes sense now. The actor that they played for that, I can see the progression or the lineage that's obviously there.
I was actually expecting to see a little bit more, I guess, whininess from the Rey character, because she's a Skywalker as well, so I figured you'd see a lot more of those type of traits in her.
So being a Skywalker automatically makes you a little bitch.
I think there's a whiny gene in the Skywalker family, yes.
Just like there's a negativity gene in your gene.
Screw you. Okay, here's
I thought they played it right though, because it's obvious that she's grown up, had to grow up, get tough quick. Obviously, I mean she's scavenging wreckage to eat.
She's obviously
it's not like Luke.
She was more like Anakin in that she knew how to work.
Right, but I think she had to grow up quicker than Luke had to grow up when he was a kid, because I mean he was being taken care of. He had a roof over his head. He had someone cooking meals for him. You know what I mean?
That's true.
She looked like, and while they don't give you any kind of who raised her, because you're not going to drop off a fucking 7-year-old and say, "Later, bitch."
It looked like she was on her own to me.
I still.
But if she was on her own, she would have had to grow up quick and tough and. Yeah, you don't got time to be a whiny little motherfucker when you do that. Because if you're going to sit there and whine and bitch and complain, you're not going to eat. You're going to starve. Yeah. So.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say, I really thought that Max von Stowe character was going to be her mentor.
That's what I kind of thought too.
But he was apparently in a different village, obviously, because that village got burned. Speaking of which, it was really weird when the movie first started off. I was like, this is very un-Star Wars-like.
Well, that's the thing. I think that's one of the that's one of the things that's kind of off for me personally, is a lot of it didn't feel like Star Wars to me. And again, maybe it's just because it's a new trilogy and it's going to have its own vibe and its own, tone and stuff and its own visual aesthetic throughout the thing.
But I thought they did a very good job of making that visual aesthetic really close to the original trilogy. Like the computer terminals, the technology, it all looked like it was straight from that world.
Yeah.
Especially
the bad guys. Yes, their stuff looked like the old Empire to me. Yes.
Those
you know what?
That was the most Star Wars, if you will, in my opinion.
Now that I'm thinking about it, it kind of irritated me that they introduced in the beginning of the movie, they introduced this character, a likable character, and then you don't even see him again till the end.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think that was a lost opportunity almost, because he was a really likable character.
He was, and the guy who played him, he sold it. Mm-hmm. He made you like this guy.
Which is funny, because I personally thought that was the one character I was not going to care about.
Really,
and that was probably the character of the new characters, the one I kind of liked the most, actually. So
yeah, see, I like that guy. Yeah, then he just disappeared.
Yeah,
I think he'll
disappeared.
he'll obviously play a role in the next one.
Obviously, if he doesn't at this point, then yeah, I don't know. I mean, what role though? We'll see. That's why I'm saying is it so far fetched to think that maybe he winds up taking over the Falcon.
Well,
Because
I think
because hang on, if Rey's going to become a Jedi, she's going to train.
No, I think
She's going to be there by
I think
herself.
Chewie needs
Wait
to
a minute.
take it.
She's
Chewie
gonna-
deserves to be the
I
the
agree.
owner of the Millennium Falcon. He
I'm not
needs a
saying
sidekick
he
now.
does. Well,
He could take that stupid BB-8 character. I don't want to see that thing
fuck
anymore.
BB-8. Well, no, hang on though. Here's the thing though. Chewie is used to being first mate. You know, I think Chewbacca needs someone. He needs a Han Solo. He needs someone to follow.
What, he's not competent enough to do it himself?
I mean,
to be the
essentially,
leader?
he's a big dog. Look at him. Look at Chewbacca like that. He's a mutt. He's a dog. You know, fetch my slippers.
Wow.
Get us into hyperdrive. I'm just saying. I think, what was his name? Poe?
Now, you know who I
What
could
was his
see-
name? Poe?
Oh, yeah, Poe Dameron.
Okay. If he winds up captaining the Millennium Falcon, I'm going to be like, told you.
If they decide to keep the Millennium Falcon as, a prominent fixture in
Why
this,
would you not?
I suspect it's going to be Finn that's going to take over.
I hope not.
No,
I
he's not a
hope
pilot.
not. He's not a pilot. That's true. He's
That's
not a
true.
pilot.
Yeah, you're right.
The entire film, he's like,
He needs a pilot.
I need a pilot. Now, could he become a crewmate? Sure.
Okay, well here's
Could he become because I mean let's be honest, if it wasn't for his information, they would have never been able to take down that planet.
yeah, that's
So
true.
maybe he becomes some kind of high ranking officer in the rebellion army.
Mhm.
I'm not saying resistance. Too
So
French.
he's a rebel.
He's a rebel.
He's
Obviously, he's a rebel. He defected. What do they call that?
That makes him
he
a
went
traitor.
AWOL.
That makes him a traitor.
Yeah, he went AWOL from the jump. He went fucking AWOL. So could I see him becoming like some kind of general or something? Sure, but he's not a pilot, and of course you can learn to fly. But dude, Poe makes sense. He was kind of that Han Solo-ish kind of character.
No, it doesn't make sense to
He's
me.
the-
It's got to be Rey.
They said over and over he's the best X-wing pilot they have.
It's got to be Rey. She's already shown she's a badass flying it. What other vehicle is she gonna use? Poe already has an X-wing. It just makes sense that it would be Rey.
But she's gonna be training to be a Jedi. She's gonna be doing Jedi training over the next two movies.
Well, yeah, but
or at least the next movie.
Yeah, but she's got to have a vehicle to go get groceries.
Well, yeah, but I mean, and Poe's gonna be, Morgan Freeman. He's gonna be driving Miss Daisy.
No, he's not.
Yes, he
Well,
is.
Why would he go to the Jedi Temple and drive
He's
her
not
around?
gonna go to the Jedi Temple. Something's gonna happen, and she's gonna have to leave and go fight.
Yeah, in the Millennium Falcon.
In the Millennium Falcon, that Poe's gonna be gonna be.
Why is he so hung up on this,
Dude,
It doesn't make any sense.
It does
doesn't
make
make any
sense.
sense.
It does.
It doesn't make any sense.
Okay,
Well,
watch.
Why take
Watch.
Why take your best pilot in the Resistance and then put him in a Millennium Falcon?
Who gives a shit what he's driving? That thing has weapons too.
He's an X-wing pilot. You saw how badass he was.
Pilots are pilots.
It's a completely different ship.
Completely
It's a
different
completely
ship.
Pilots are pilots.
You have to have gunners.
Anakin
in the
can fly
Millennium-
anything with wings.
He was the best star pilot though in the universe. All right. They made it a point to let you know
The
that.
Millennium Falcon didn't have wings though.
Touche. You got me on that one.
Do you think Han Solo could pilot an X-wing as good as he does a Millennium Falcon?
No.
all right
Hang
then.
on. Wait.
All
Can I
right
explain? Can I explain? Because that's his ship.
Exactly.
You're gonna be able to drive your vehicle better than you're gonna.
That
you're gonna be able
X-wing
to
is
to,
Poe's ship.
right now. Right now. But if the Millennium Falcon becomes his ship,
Why are you so hung up on this? This doesn't make any sense.
it does make sense.
No, it doesn't.
He's the new Han Solo. He's the new Han Solo.
He wants him to be the Han Solo.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
He knows he's the new.
There-
he's the new
I
Han
don't think
Solo.
there is.
You know what I didn't like though? Whenever Han Solo was like signaling, trying to get Finn to turn
I
around.
thought that was funny actually.
Well, hang on though. I didn't like that. Like I saw too much Kevin Hart in that. What's this? What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm trying to come up with a plan. That's Kevin Hart. I don't like that. If I wanted Kevin Hart in Star Wars, you should have cast Kevin Hart in Star Wars.
Why not Chris Tucker? He's like, oh man,
Start screaming. Start screaming because he's getting shot at.
and he plays the same. He plays the same character as on Fifth Element. The whole time at Millennium Falcon, he's like, wah, wah!
I don't know. Look, I think we're gonna see Poe again. We're gonna see more of him.
What did you
so.
think about what's her name? Daisy Ridley, the Rey character.
Who's obviously was cast because she's obviously a good actress, but she looks strikingly like Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
Kind of does actually.
So that tells me she's in that lineage, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
As if we needed more proof, or
we don't. Okay, I think we can all agree that
which,
she's probably Luke's daughter.
I expect to see.
What if she's Leia's daughter, but just not Han's daughter?
You know, I started to say that earlier, like 20 minutes ago, because you said, "Well, what if she had twins and didn't tell Han?" No way.
You idiot.
No way.
No, but here's why. Because have you ever heard about? It is possible for twins to have two different fathers. That has happened before. And then she didn't tell Han because she was like, "This motherfucker's gonna get pissed off." So I better hide the girl on this desert planet. She'll be okay. I mean, she'll be fine.
What, dropped her off 8 years later?
She'll go live in that AT-AT over there. She'll be fine.
I like that though. I like that there was wreckage. There was wreckage from,
obviously some big battle.
Obviously.
Yes, that was the Battle of Jakku, which took place a year after Return of the Jedi.
That's in this game, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Took how long? 5 years after?
No, 1 year after.
1 year after.
Actually, it was
Well, hang
the
on.
deciding factor
That's
that
my point.
ended the Empire.
Never mind then.
What?
I was about to say that's my point. Just because the end of Jedi didn't mean the end of the fighting.
The end of Jedi basically allowed it cracked the Empire and allowed the rebellion to on the path to succeed and to overthrow. Because like I said, if the Emperor still lives and Vader's still there, their reign of terror pretty much continues on. If the rebels had not won the Battle of Endor, the rebels would have been wiped out. The Death Star would have taken out the rest of the ships. The Death Star would have been operational, fully functional, and went across the galaxy blowing fucking shit up. That would have been it for the rebellion. The fact that they killed the Emperor, Vader died, and the Death Star got destroyed allowed the rebellion to have this opportunity to rid the galaxy of them.
But did the Emperor die?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. If not, we'd see him in this movie.
Not necessarily.
You know, what if that whole Snoke hologram thing is like a Wizard of Oz reference? Like he turns out being like a Yoda size. You know what I mean?
But what if that's not even?
Stupid.
What if that's not? But what if that's not even what he looks like?
Exactly.
What if it's just like
it's Palpatine?
There is
Just saying.
preference. What was it?
That guy was deteriorating on one side, though. Did you notice that?
What if that's what Palpatine looks like now? Because when he got thrown into that whatever it was, he just got fucked up even more.
No.
I'm just saying.
No.
Hang on. If someone with force powers is falling, why wouldn't they be able to stop themselves? If they can stop anything else, why wouldn't they be able to stop themselves?
No, I understand.
Think about that for a minute.
I agree. I agree with that. But even if he did stop himself in the shaft, the Death Star got blown to bits.
What if he got out?
How did he get out?
We don't know. What if he got out?
He just flew out into space.
Dude, no, I'm just saying.
He does the corkscrew thing through space. And he's like,
we don't know what happened. We didn't see what happened after he got thrown into
What if Palpatine? Because in the comics, in the expanded universe, which we have established that they have borrowed from, Palpatine does come back as a spirit, makes clone bodies, and inhabits the clone bodies. What if this Snoke guy, and that's why he's deteriorating, because his body's deteriorating, because maybe the clones don't last as long or whatever. I don't know.
I don't think so. I don't think that.
I mean, it's far-fetched, of course, but I mean, at this point, we're just theories is all we have.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, look. Palpatine looked human, and then he got the lightning, shot back at him by Mace Windu,
See,
right?
and I've always
Hang on.
hated that. I've always fucking hated that.
And he got all fucked up looking, right? He got all deformed looking.
Either
So
that or that's
he
what
gets
looked
thrown
like the
into
whole
he gets thrown into this hole. What did you call it a minute ago?
Shaft.
Okay, he gets thrown into this shaft, and his electricity's still going. Okay, and it's all metal surrounded all about him, so it's around him, so it's like a conductor. So it's basically he's just electrocuting himself all the way down. And then he uses his force powers
So why
to
wouldn't
stop
he just
himself.
say? Why wouldn't
At
he
the
just
bottom
say
of it.
they
Hang
didn't
on, I'm not
actually
done.
kill me?
He gets into an escape pod. Okay, he gets out of the Death Star before it blows up. So what we saw was what's his name? Snow.
With a KE.
Snoke. Okay,
Yeah.
so this guy's actually Palpatine, but he's going by this different name because he can't go by Palpatine anymore because people think he's dead. Because he pulled the wool over the eyes of everyone the first time. Being a senator, you know, a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Right.
What if he's doing it again? We don't know. It's a theory. It's a theory. We just don't know. Because Palpatine is that badass. The Emperor is that badass. And I think that's that's shown in the prequel more than any other time. How in tune with the Force he is, how powerful he is. I mean, he fooled the entire Jedi Council, for Christ's sake. They're supposed to be able to detect the dark side of the Force when it's near.
I'll say this:
And they
if
couldn't.
if it is Palpatine, it'd be something like he seduced Anakin, tried to seduce Luke, but then ends up seducing Leia's kid.
Stop saying seduce. I think of him trying to be sexy.
Why would that? Of all the things to think about, why would that be it? Why would that need to be it?
I think I like The Graduate whenever you say that.
Oh. Now I'm thinking that.
So
let's sum up then. What
the movie was good. Go watch the movie. If you watch this, we told you the movie. Go watch the movie. The movie's good. Period.
Actually, this is probably as long as the movie.
Probably.
You're definitely gonna have to do some trimming on this.
Trim your beard.
Yeah, that was a good one. Overall, it was a good movie. If you had
Would
to,
you say it was better than episode 1? Are you
Okay.
gonna touch me?
Okay, no. If I had to rank this after just seeing it one time,
Nah, that's not fair. That's not
no,
fair.
I know. That's why I'm kind of
Okay.
stating it this way. If I had to put it in order of best to worst with the rest of the movies, this is gonna make everybody angry. I would have to say, for me personally, from top to bottom, I'm gonna say Revenge of the Sith. I'm gonna say Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, A New Hope, Attack of the Clones.
God damn.
Yeah. And I would say I don't know, honestly, I might say episode 1 above that since they fixed the Yoda puppet.
You're fucking dumb. You're just fucking.
No,
I'll say
I'm
it for
not.
you guys. You're
I'm not.
fucking idiot.
I'm sorry.
Dude, you're stupid.
Like the things
You're
I'm hearing in my
stupid.
head right now. Am I in like a
Seriously?
fucking dream where hamburgers eat people and
Yeah, that was called Cloudy with the Chance of Meatballs.
I was really surprised
You're dumb.
the reviews that people were saying this was a really good movie, and I expected it to be, but it wasn't as good as I was hoping. I really thought I would enjoy it more than I did.
Dude, again, you have to look at these, at episode 7, 8, 9, as a whole new trilogy, a whole new start. Okay, so look at episode 7 as a setup movie, just like episode 1 was, just like episode 4 was, right? If you
Right.
take that into consideration, it was a goddamn good setup movie. It was. Period.
okay, for me it blows episode 1 and 2 out of the water. Like
I agree with that.
3, I will say this. I think episode 7 is overall a better movie than 3, just from every aspect. I think it's a better movie, but I think I like them both equally. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Because
So what's
there
your top?
are things in episode 3 that I just do not like at all, but there are a lot of things that I do like, and it's by far the best prequel. But I would put both of them on the same level underneath the original trilogy, but just by a hair, just by a hair. To me, it's like there's 5 Star Wars movies that are pretty much equally awesome, and then Episode 1 and 2, like down here on the moon, because the moon's like below us.
I'm gonna put Episode 7. I'm gonna put it definitely above 1 and 2. Definitely
So
above 1.
what's your top? What's your top movie?
You know, it probably goes. It probably goes 6, 3, 5.
So Return of the Jedi, then Revenge of the Sith,
Then
then
Empire. 6, 3, 5. And it's close. All that's close for me, honestly.
Okay.
You know, maybe depending on the day, maybe I say 5, 6, 3. I don't know. Episode 3 was good.
Yeah.
I know people who never even watched it because Episode 1 was just that bad. And it was. Episode 1, and unfortunately for Episode 1, you know, you have to, it's trying to live up to itself. You know what I mean? It's trying to live up to that Star Wars name and just doesn't do it. But, so let's go 6, 3, 5, and then, it'd be this new one, 7, and then 4, or 4, then 7. It's a toss-up. And then 2, 1.
Okay.
6, 5, 4, but just below that by a hair 3, and then 2 and 1 on the moon.
And then 7, and then 2 and 1.
7. Yeah, excuse me. 3 and 7 at a virtual tie.
So you're
just below
hang
the
on,
original trilogy.
So I hate to put it like this, but basically you're ranking it the 3rd worst in the anthology right now. And again, I hate to put it like that because, well, I mean 4, 5, and 6 are just that good.
I'm always gonna say 4, 5, and 6 are, because I grew up on the movies. I mean, it's not even so much that they're better overall movies. It's I grew up on. There's that nostalgia, so I'm always gonna prefer them and like them more.
Mm-hmm.
But and I'm not taking anything away from 7 because I think if this movie had been released during that time, it would be right up there with the original trilogy.
Right
now, it would be. And I think over time it probably will be. And to some people, this is going to be their original trilogy, and it's going to be like at the very top of the heap for, you know, in their spacing or whatever. Nostalgia plays so much more into it. And even now, there's still nostalgia with the prequels for us. Seriously. Because I remember walking into the theater in 1999 and watching Episode 1.
I did
and
too.
To me, that is better than Episode 2 just because there is that nostalgia with it. It was the first Star Wars movie I ever watched in theaters. I remember all the hype towards it. And once that died down, I wasn't as hyped for 2. I was still hyped for 2. Just because it was Star Wars, but it didn't live up to the hype that I felt for the first one.
Well, the reason why I place it where I place it in my list is just the enjoyment I got out of the movie wasn't as much as I got out of the others. Episode 1 really bothered me because of that stupid Yoda puppet.
Yeah, but hang on though. After you've seen Episode 7 20 or more times, like you've seen
maybe
1 through 6.
Maybe.
I think you're definitely going to have a different opinion. For being the first time that I saw this movie, I think I would probably put it as the number 4 best Star Wars film.
Yeah, I mean, Episode 1 confused me because I think visually it was such a contrast and it wasn't what I thought Star Wars was, so I was kind of thrown off by that. This movie does the same thing for me, okay, if that makes sense. There's just something about it that I guess I just haven't gotten used to. And because of that, I haven't enjoyed it, or I didn't enjoy it.
It's the start of a brand new franchise and story, though. So it's, I mean, that's expected.
And that's exactly what happened with me with Episode 1. It was jarring because it didn't feel like what I had known Star Wars to be. There's something different about this that just, I don't know, for whatever reason, just... I don't know, and something also just kind of rang a little hollow in it. Personally, and I hate to say this, but I thought the 2 Star Trek movies that he did were better than this one.
Kind of comparing apples to oranges there.
Well, maybe I am, but I thought they were...
You're comparing apples to oranges with that, honestly. But...
Well, you're speechless, Billy.
So I don't get that. Dude, to me, this had a ton of heart. You could tell that J.J. Abrams and the people had a lot of passion going into making it. To me.
I agree with that.
And I want to say that I want to say the same thing, but just something I can't say that.
Okay, so overall, watch it or don't watch it.
Oh, definitely watch it. And again, I'm not saying it's a bad movie. Even though it might sound like I'm dissing this movie completely. No,
But
I'm
it's
not.
worse than episode 1.
It's definitely better than episode 1.
Everyone's going to demand you be removed from the channel.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they will. It's a good movie. I did like the movie. I'm just saying, in comparison with the others, something just wasn't right. And I think it's the same thing that affected me with episode 1 when that first came out. And I think I probably will like it even more when the other movies come out and I'm used to this universe at this point. Because it is different. There is a different tone to this movie compared to the original trilogy or the prequels. And I think I just have to get used to it. But as of right now, that's where I would place the movie.
Now, I don't think this video is ever going to end, but now I remember an interview by Lucas back in the day when he was saying, and you know about this interview, how he was saying each trilogy was going to have its own tone.
Yes, and that's why I'm saying it's too early. I guess it's too early, and I should have prefaced my judgment.
And
right
let me
at
just
the
say,
beginning.
we know Lucas is not making these movies, but I think
what we saw is exactly what he said 30 years ago.
He said he said that this new trilogy would blur the lines between good and evil. Do you think we saw that in this
Yes,
movie?
we definitely saw that. And I suspect that blonde guy in the Empire or the whatever, the New Order or whatever it is, I think that might actually be Luke's son and Rey is his daughter. You know what I mean? Because he kind of looks like Luke. The guy has
General Hux?
Yeah, he has some type of importance and there's some type of rivalry between him and Kylo Ren as well. You kind of caught on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yes, there was that blur, and you see that with the Finn character. He's a bad guy. He's a stormtrooper who's not really bad. He's actually a good guy. You're seeing somebody who was Luke's student, a pupil of Luke's, turning to the dark side and killing his dad. You know.
And the thing about that
but
is,
it wouldn't surprise me if if Luke already has a son that's joined the enemy, if you will.
And another thing with blurring those lines or whatever, I don't know if you caught that, but that when Kylo Ren was actually talking to Vader's helmet, he goes, "I could feel the light," like he still felt the conflict in him.
Well, you saw that when Han was on the bridge with him too.
So you could tell he didn't want to kill him, but he knew he had to.
Mm-hmm. I think he was one of my favorite new characters. The Kylo Ren guy, what's his name, Adam Driver. Mm-hmm. I thought he was really good. I really enjoyed something Isaac, the guy who did Poe Dameron, and I like those characters more than I like the two good guys, the two new good guys in the. Not that they did bad, the Rey character and the Finn character, but I didn't enjoy them as much as I did these other characters who didn't have as much of a role.
So I'm surprised that we didn't see her staff come into play for some reason. Like,
I was totally expecting her to bust out a lightsaber from the thing. Yeah, I think everybody did. That was one of the big speculation moments.
I'm so glad it wasn't. I'm so glad a lot of predictions were fucking
I'm
wrong.
surprised at how much were right, though.
Fuck you.
You don't even know because you
don't know.
You said you didn't see him.
oh yes, by the way, on my vlog channel, I predicted the Han, the Kylo Ren being the Han. I'll put the link down here below for proof.
You also predicted the planet being turned into a weapon.
Yes, I did.
Actually,
I did predict that.
And I still hold to my prediction that we see Lando in the second movie, just the way we did the second movie of the original trilogy. And I bet that he
was at the official premiere, by the way.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
The Finn character ends up being his son who was kidnapped because they actually say that he was taken as a child.
Yeah. And I predicted that, so I'm going to put that's in the same video, actually.
All right, well, look, here's the bottom line, because this video is like 72 minutes fucking long now. It's a good movie. It didn't disappoint, in my opinion. Go watch it. If you haven't seen it, go watch it.
It is a good.
It's a good.
It is a good. So 3, it's
really?
a good.
Because it sounds like you think it's a bad.
Yeah, no shit.
It's like, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I think J.J. Abrams took a shit and then smeared it on the fucking film. And just like, that's what we just watched.
No, I've given my reasons why I didn't enjoy it the way I did some of the other movies.
Dude, I'm just saying.
Because I did enjoy episode 2 a lot more than I did Phantom Menace, and I think it was because that movie was jarring when it came out to me, and I had to get used to what was there. You know what I mean? As far as the visuals and the universe that was established at that particular time period.
I think as this trilogy...
This one was jarring to me, too, in the same way.
As this trilogy progresses, and after you've seen the movie 100 times, like you've seen the rest 100 times, I really think you're going to change your mind.
I think I'm going to like this movie more after I've seen the next movie.
Probably.
Because I did like episode 1 a lot better after I saw episode 2. So...
I was really scared there for a second. You remember when at the very end of the movie the Millennium Falcons take it off, and everyone's waving and stuff? I thought that's just right when they were going to end the movie. We weren't going to see Luke.
And you would have flipped out.
I would have flipped off. I would have run out. I would have punched the screen. Look, you done did it.
Oh, all right, outro.
I was expecting him to at least have a line or something and say, "Look, like." Luke turns around. Luke turns around and he's like, "Damn, girl, what's up?"
I actually like the ending. I like the ending probably better than the ending of a lot of the other movies where it ends with like a celebration or an award ceremony.
It was a shitty shot, shitty angle, shitty camera.
It was an odd angle.
It was shitty.
It was not a very Star Wars angle.
Which made it shitty.
And maybe that was a lot of the reason why I didn't feel like a Star Wars movie was a lot of the camera movements and stuff. Like, did you see those little zoom-ins and stuff that were going on in the movie?
What? Yeah, no, but Lucas did that in episode 2 and 3.
Did he?
Yeah, remember their shots during the Geonosis scene and those troop transports, and the camera zooms in on them and stuff.
I didn't care for that scene at all, though. So
now the Geonosis scene in episode 2, I think, is horrible.
If you're gonna mimic, something that's not the scene to go for.
But he also did it in the opening battle sequence of episode 3, which is actually a really good sequence.
Okay.
There was some camera movements. Some like...
It felt more JJ than and that should be obvious.
Although I didn't see lens flares.
There was a lens flare. There was at least one lens flare in the
When?
movie. Where was it?
Well, if it's one, I could be. I'm fine with it. It's not like just everywhere. Like
no, it wasn't
stuff
everywhere.
like Star Trek,
Oh, I tell you one thing. One of the things I didn't, and you could probably cut this at the do credits or whatever. But one of the things I didn't like. What was R2's deal?
Credits? Why would this video have
I don't know.
credits?
I don't know.
R2's deal was...
What was R2's
Hang
deal?
on.
He was sad.
He was... No,
He's
look.
going to sit there and mope for 15 years or however long Luke's been gone?
Luke is his master.
What is he, a dog?
Yeah.
Just like Chewbacca.
Man.
R2 serves Luke. Luke was gone. Luke was in hiding. So R2 said, I'm gonna fucking hibernate, bitches. He took a fucking nap.
Yeah.
He took a nap.
I thought that was stupid, man.
He's like, I see you on the flip side, bitches.
That looked like a lame excuse to shoehorn this new droid in, is what
I don't
it looked like to me.
fuck this new droid. We're not talking about the new droid. We're not fuck him.
We kind of are.
Well,
I'm not gonna.
He's necessary. If R2's is Luke's,
He's
then
got a
Poe
point,
Dameron
actually.
has to have a droid.
He's got a point about on that one. But fuck BB-8.
Okay.
Fuck him.
Riding his antenna.
Good luck editing this one.
All right, are
I
we
ain't
done?
editing shit.